All right. So, welcome everybody to another Sunday, another family time. I am Stephen Crawford. For those of you who don't know who I am, I've been an Herbalife member now for coming up on 3 years in April. It's been pretty much the most amazing thing that has been taking place in my life, and I'm forever grateful for the opportunity. You are now listening to, well, I sound like a DJ today. You are now listening to Team Urban Avengers Family Time. We have this call every Sunday just to touch the bases and make sure that everybody is growing together and just to make sure that everybody's on the same page and we're moving in the same direction. So what I want to talk about today, I don't want to have a long call. I don't want to, I don't want to become a person who talks at you guys too much. I just want to keep you guys abreast to a lot of things and kind of give you a little bit of inspiration and motivation. I'll tell you all, I've been inspired this year by seeing a lot of people that I know come from bad places or, we'll call them humble beginnings to now having very prosperous lives. Some of you saw the girl that I prepped last for her first bikini show, and Garen Jones actually came and he pulled up in his new Bentley that he bought, and everybody was all like, "What are you? Oh my God, who are you?" He's like, "I'm just an Herbalife health coach," and it's like it's crazy the lifestyle that we get to design, because somebody like that who's only been around in the business 4 years and is able to buy, not only his dream car, the Mercedes G-Wagon, but then to be able to buy, it's not one of those like a Bentley coupe. It's one of those Bentleys that you see like people on Wall Street driving or something. It's just crazy. I know it's materialistic things, but like Garen says, the people that say, money can't buy you happiness just don't know where to shop. And the thing for me, what I realize is, money, they may say that money can't buy happiness, but I would guarantee you when you ain't got it, you're not happy neither. So, money is like one of the biggest stressors of people, one of the biggest causes of relationship issues, whether it be a partner or whether it be friends. Money is always seeming to be always a main factor in issues. So the ability that we have to create a lifestyle like that is right in front of our faces. And what I had this past weekend was an event. Now, one thing I'll tell you all, I actually had somebody who asked me for mentorship and advice. And you know what I told him? I just said, ain't there's no mentorship. I ain't going to tell you what I said. Now, what I said, though, because he's my friend, I said, ain't no mentor, bitch. But if I would have been talking to somebody who I wasn't a friend with, I would have, just told them, like, listen, like, you can get all the mentorship and all of the nuggets and all of the mental jewels in the world, but if you don't have a desire to do anything, and if you don't have a desire to be better, and if you don't have a sheer will to just get up and change your own life, you're just a person who's like, let's just say, the smartest lazy person in the world. Just don't do anything, but everything. So it doesn't, like I tell them, like, it doesn't matter. We have these events to go to every month to keep you inspired and to bring other people to. The ways to become successful, my ways that I've always been told, the easiest way, use the products, wear the brand, talk to people, and go to events. It's not rocket science. And you got to do that every month. It's not like, you do it for 1 or 2 months and then that's it. I've been in the business almost 3 years, and I can count on I missed 2 events. 1, because I had the flu, and 2, because my babysitter canceled the morning of, so I actually had to stay home, but I still Zoomed the event. So technically I've only really missed 1 event. And I'm talking about, a couple events a month. I'm on every call that I can possibly get on. And the thing is, sometimes people say, man, it's too many calls, or man, it's too much to do. And all of this stuff. And it's like, I'm looking, I'm like, what would you rather do? Would you rather sit at a call for 30 minutes for a couple of times a week that's going to actually help you change your life forever? Or would you just want to sit around watching TV, entertaining yourself for a few hours just so you can stay in the loop of everything that's going on in the world? And to to totally, be honest, I around here we don't really watch much TV. The thing I may watch ESPN or when it's a big game or something. Like I had the All-Star game on tonight, and I was like not even really watching it because I was meal prepping, and I was actually looking over my notes from this weekend's success training seminar. Like things don't interest me anymore, and you want to know why things don't interest me like that anymore on TV? It's because I see these people on TV, and a lot of them have the lifestyle that I want to live. And it wasn't until I got into Herbalife time where I actually realized that I can actually create that kind of lifestyle if I sacrifice. If I sacrifice watching TV. If you're to tell me, like my sponsor, Super Mario, he, made a video where he's taking his mother and his nana, as he called his grandmother, on an all expense paid trip, for her birthday for the third year in a row. And can you imagine being able to do that for your mom annually, or whoever is the most significant person in your life and your family, annually saying every year for the rest of your life, I'm going to qualify for the Herbalife vacation, and we're going to have to not pay for anything, and we're going to always go to a different destination. To me, that's kind of crazy, because I already got a taste of it when I was able to take my mom to Hawaii last year. And this year, we had a whole bunch of things going on, and I just barely, even with a crazy, I just barely missed going to the Cancun French Riviera Maya. So, that's going to be, something that we correct this year. But, next year they're taking everybody to Disney in Florida, Disney World. So understand, like shooting for something like that to say, I'm going to qualify for my family to go to Disney World next year. That's something to really shoot and aim for. But to say, I grew up not having family vacations. We didn't have it. I didn't go nowhere. We didn't go. We were like, we weren't the kind of family who had that kind of life to where we just every summer, we're going to take a family trip somewhere. We just didn't have, funds like that. It was just, wasn't that kind of situation. And to be able to have access to that right now, it's not something that's normal for me. But if somebody's going to say, hey, I'm going to give you the opportunity to do that, why would you not go for it? And if they're going to tell you that, hey, we have the opportunity for you to, make unlimited income. How many people are just tired of their jobs? Who's tired of working? I know I was, and I was young when I said I was tired of working. So I know some of y'all, I'm still, very, very young. But I told myself coming out of college, I just wasn't the kind of person who can work for other people, because if it's not something that I'm passionate about, I'm not going to give all my effort into it. And, I think people get comfortable going to live paycheck to paycheck. And when I met Super Mario and he told me he makes $5,000 a month already, I'm like, that's more than I ever made. But then now to see him 2 years later making $20,000, $24,500 a month for the last year. And then Garen Jones, we don't even talk about, he make a couple $1 million a year, but they do Herbalife. And what's the difference between them and you sitting at home right now? Nothing but the fact that they believe that they can get every single thing that the company gives them. So we had a person at our event this past weekend. It was funny too. I'm gonna tell you guys what's really funny about this weekend's success training seminar. I tell you guys, we don't miss events, right? And a lot of you know that I was training a girl to do her bikini show the same day. And I showed up to the event and they were like, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be with Alex? She has her show. And I'm like, I don't care what's going on. I'm never going to just miss an event because I have something going on. It's no excuses for me ever not to go to an event. So we have President's team member Keon Owens come and give us a pretty amazing story. And if you all know, I'm in Southern California, and Keon Owens is from Compton, California. So if you know anything about what you hear, stereotypical things about Compton, California, he grew up in the 80s. So it was obviously a very, very rough time for him. And he was one of the people that was in the street. He said he grew up in a house of 20 kids. He had five brothers and like people from the neighborhood stayed in that. It was a really messed up situation. And he was always an angry person. And when he got introduced into Herbalife and introduced into personal development, he came in because he wanted to earn extra income. And now 2 years later, Now 2 years later, he's president's team member, and he's able to change not only his life, but he's able to take his brothers off of the streets. And it was just an amazing story. But I'm not going to talk you guys' ear off. I'm going to give you what he gave us was 4 keys to success. And I don't like taking notes, but they always tell you to do what the successful people do. I don't like reading books or listening to audiobooks, but what do they say? They always say, do what the successful people do. That's what successful people follow successful people. So I took notes on my computer because I know I can read something like that. I'm going to actually be on my computer all the time. So what Keanu Owens said in our World Team School is here's 4 keys to success. If you choose to write them down, you can choose to write them down. If you want to remember them, you can remember. Hey, girl, hey, I'm on a call. Children. But the first key to success, he said, is setting goals, having a short-term goal, because the reason we have short-term goals, and the short-term goal for us is like what we're going to do for the month. Like what is our, what do you declare that you're going to do for the month? How many members you want to have, what kind of, volume that you want to have, what kind of impact that you want to have. But then also having a long-term goal. And then we talk about long-term goals, like what do you want to be at the end of the year? Where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself in 6 months? And where do you see yourself in, 2-3 years with Herbalife? So he said, the first key is actually setting goals. And, Garen Jones will tell us you can't hit a target that you don't have. So if you're just going through life, just all willy-nilly, just living day to day without a plan, then your mind is all over the place. He said he kept his mind focused because every morning he wrote down a goal, president's team, president's team, president's team. And right now he said he writes down the goal, 20K president's team, on a piece of paper every day. That why he does that? Because that's what his mind is thinking about. Guess what? If you just wake up in the morning and you're not thinking about anything, your mind is going to just be all over the place. Then it's going to be 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You forgot everything that you were supposed to do the day before, and all. You just kind of go throughout life misguided. So first thing is setting goals. Number 2, what he called mentorship. He said like the same thing. Like there's nobody who's going to be your mentor. What you have to do is find somebody who has exactly what you want and mimic them. That's how you give mentorship. Find somebody who is living the lifestyle that you want. Find somebody who is experiencing and going through the things in life that you wish you can go through, and mimic what they do. The crazy thing about Herbalife is if you ask somebody, they're going to tell you. It's not like we're snobby people. It's not like we're going to say, oh, I'm not going to tell you what I did to make it to global expansion team in a year. I'm going to hide my secrets. People are more than willing to share what they did to advance in the company, but you just have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone and ask. So number 2, that's what we're going to consider mentorship, is you actually finding someone who has what you want, do what they do, and show up as they show up. Simple as that. Number 3, and I think this is what we talked about 2 weeks ago, having a plan. I think more people, I think there are a ton of people who actually have goals, but with no plan on how to achieve their goal. And if you're somebody who has a plan and doesn't have who has a goal and doesn't have a plan on how to actually get to the goal, then you're just a person out here like with no direction. Like we always use the GPS. You're just plugging in how to get to what we always say, Texas, and you don't have any direction on how to get there. You're just going to drive until you find it. It doesn't make sense to have a goal without a plan of action on how to get there. And he says, when was the last time that you actually went home and mapped out a blueprint on how you're going to be successful with Herbalife? Has anybody ever did that? I know some people have shown me things that they've done before, but have you actually ever went home and just mapped out, what you're going to do on either a day-to-day basis or what you want to accomplish on a weekly basis? If you don't have a blueprint, how can you build anything? It's like getting something from the store that requires assembly and taking the directions and throwing them in the garbage. That's guidance for you. That they're telling you how to build this thing perfectly. Same thing with Herbalife. They give you the blueprint on how to build a business perfectly. But some of you take the blueprint, throw it in the garbage, and say, I'm going to just figure this out on my own. The do-it-yourself people. We all know those people. And then his last action, or his last step for his keys to success was action. Nothing else matters if you don't take action. And we talked about that before. It says, oh man, he had a great quote. He says, you can't have what you refuse to build. Oh. You cannot have what you actually refuse to build. You can't have a $1 million check if you refuse to build $1 million check. Doesn't that make some pretty profound sense? You can't have an amazing business if you're not willing to build an amazing business. If you just want it to just organically happen, it's not the way things work. And he also said his definition of key, we always talk about major keys. DJ Khaled got everybody talking about major keys these days, major keys to success. And he says what key always, had meant to him was keep educating yourself. And I can attest to this because even not in the Herbalife realm, but everybody knows I'm into bodybuilding. I've been bodybuilding for years, and I still find myself learning new things every day. I don't just automatically learn how to, let's say, bench press and do a perfect push-up, and all of a sudden, I think I know how to, build the perfect body. Hey, Sarai. But it's actually being willing to be studious, no matter how old you are, no matter how young you are, no matter how knowledgeable you already think you are. You have to be always willing to learn, because some of us we're babies in Herbalife. We can't think that we have tried it all and we know how to do everything. You have to be willing to keep educating yourself. And then this second to last thing that I'll share, he said, pay attention because attention will pay you. And what he meant by this was when you actually show up somewhere, or when you actually go to a meeting or get on a call or you're actually out in the world, pay attention to everything that's going on, because paying attention will pay you. And then he says, this is the steps. If you want to just sum it up into steps, follow your leader, become a leader, and then develop leaders. That is how you get the press team. Simple enough. How you get the press team? Follow the leader. Do what the person is in a position of where you want to be. Let's just say a president's team member. Follow what they do. When I first came to the business, Garen Jones was making $45,000 a month. I saw it on a check. I actually seen his bank account 2 years ago when he had I think it was something like $945,000 in one of his bank accounts. And he wasn't even, he was a 15 or 20K press team at that point in time. He was like, you just follow the leader. So what did I do? Everything I did was like Garen did. He dressed better at events. He took care of himself whenever he left the house, and he was always presentable. He showed up to the events in dress clothes. Now, I can't wear a suit jacket because my body changes way too much. I have a baby waist and these humongous shoulders. So until I start making that millionaire team money and I can get my suits tailored, that's not a good look for you, boy. I went in H&M. I went in Zara. It's just not working for me. So, but I will wear a nice, vest, tie, shirt, pants, nice socks, dress shoes, because they say do what leaders do. And that's what the person I wanted to be like was doing. The person I wanted to be like did personal development and read books and in audio books every day. I didn't like doing that. I think sometimes I might got like ADHD or something because I can't pay attention to a book to save my life. But they said you have to do what leaders do. The average person reads one book a year, so I have to be better than average. So I'm doing things that I don't like doing because I choose to be successful. I want to be successful. I'm not sitting around like, most people. This is what I'm talking about when I first joined the business. These are things that they told me. I literally will watch all of Garen Jones's video and all of Super Mario's videos and all of Style Bell's videos, and I would see how they spoke. If I got to humble myself to do what they got to do to make $25,000 a month with Herbalife for the rest of my life, I'm going to do whatever it takes. You can't tell me it's not worth it. And then you just so happen to become a better person in the process. Imagine that. You become a more developed person in the process. And you create a lifestyle full of vacations. Do y'all know that Garen is taking a European trip, a European tour? And I'm only bringing up these names because you guys would recognize these people because they're our leaders. But do y'all not know that Herbalife is sending Garen to South Africa, to 6 different countries in Europe, all to speak? They're paying for everything. And he's flying first class on all of these places. You know how much a first class flight to Africa is? I'll tell you. It's $11,487 to fly first class round trip to South Africa. You want to know how I know? Because my sponsor, Super Mario, was just, I think either he did buy it or he's about to buy a first class round trip ticket to South Africa. Do y'all not know 3 years ago this man was on house arrest and on ankle bracelet and just got out of jail and wouldn't get hired by nobody? 3 years later, he's able to buy an $11,000 round trip ticket to go to South Africa. And he inboxed me this morning with tickets that he bought to like a basketball game that I know I want to go to. And it's probably like one of the more high sought after tickets in the game. And he's like, "You trying to go? You trying to buy one of these tickets? $4,000 ticket." No, I'm not trying to go. That's my whole check, boy. I can't do that. I got kids, diapers and stuff. But I can't wait till I'm ready to do. I can't wait till I'm able to do that. He's just teasing me because he know I'm not going to go, but he wants to show me what's possible. Just because. And they're going to go there with the big old Herbalife 24 fit on their chest and sit courtside to a Clippers and Golden State Warriors basketball game in LA and enjoy life because they worked hard enough and they saw the vision and all they did was follow the people that was before them. So none of this may inspire any of you all, but it inspires me because I understand that I'm a part of a company that's, for one, been around for 36 years. If you all want some credentials on Herbalife, here's some credentials on Herbalife to make sure that you can believe that we're not going nowhere. 36 years of business as of February 1st. We're in over 94 countries. That means our products are approved by over 94 countries. 94 separate countries have dissected our Herbalife products and accepted most of the products into their country. We're the only nutritional company on the market that actually has doctors on its staff that makes our products. Not only are we the only ones that have doctors, our doctors have PhDs. And not only do our doctors have PhDs, one of our doctors has won Doctor of the Year award 3 times. And one of our other doctors is a Nobel laureate winner for his research in nitric oxide, which is heart health. So we have a lot of positive things going on, and it's not ever going anywhere. You can't name another company. Slim Fast been out of business. Weight Watchers comes in and out. All of these companies flip-flop. But Herbalife has stayed the same for 40 years coming up. 40 years, longer than I've been alive. This company was around and booming before I was even thought of. So that should give you enough confidence when somebody comes up on you saying something crazy about Herbalife. I'll tell you guys something. People, I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if people are scared because I got a big chest and big arms, but nobody comes up and says anything negative to me about Herbalife. I don't know if it's my aura. I don't know if it's the energy I'm putting off because I'm so confident in it. But people come to me like, what do you do when somebody says, when somebody talks about Herbalife has this and that and the third in their products? I don't say anything. If somebody comes up to me and say, man, I heard Herbalife products got lead in it. I'm like, man, I go to my result picture. I'm like, dang, this is what lead makes you look like. Like, I'm just going to keep drinking this. I feel great. And I look great. Having that kind of confidence, because some people will hear something negative and they'll automatically start to think negative. Like, man, maybe this Herbalife isn't for me. How? Let's use some logic. If you think something is wrong with our products, you think we would be here 36 years? The way that America works and the way that research works now, Sarai, baby. These kids are so spoiled. It's ridiculous. And they're doing it on purpose, too. But just to let you guys know, I have 100% confidence in this company, 150% confidence. And I'll tell you why. for all of the reasons I just named, and then for the simple fact that I watched my roommate, who I've been trying to help lose weight for 3 years prior, lose 30 pounds in his first month of doing the products. I watched it. I had the most energy he's ever had when he worked out. I watched it. I started getting nervous. I was like, man, this fool trying to catch me. So I started drinking more shakes. But that's why I have confidence in the products. And I have confidence in the business because my sponsor, like I told you, he became a supervisor on an ankle bracelet on house arrest. So people had no excuse. And his sponsor was homeless, living out of his car. And then 3 years later, he's making $100,000 a month with the company because he wanted to. His sponsor was living at home with his mother, had no job, watching his mom get her house foreclosed on. Like, you guys don't understand. Here's why you got to go to events. And this is the last thing I'll say before I ask if anybody has any questions or anything to say. I was at the event this past weekend, and I witnessed something happen. I witnessed a young girl, 24 years old, walk on stage, and she was they call up part-time income. And they said, if you've made $1,000 to $1,500 with Herbalife in the month of January, raise your hand. She was like, ran to the front and was like the first person to raise her hand. It was a stage full of people. She was put up front, right? She's like, I'm a full-time student and I work at a bank and I was not making ends meet. Last month I made $1,000 or $1,100 with Herbalife is what she said, right? And they asked her what that meant to her. And she said, well, what it means to me is I got a roof over my head because literally before I got my Herbalife check, I had an eviction notice on my door. So understand, like, the power of being able to change your life. If y'all have never heard of my story, I was on food stamps when I first started Herbalife. I had just moved to California, had a job that was giving me 12 hours a week. I was not, I was barely, I was doing odds and end jobs just to make rent. And, I didn't have food. And if it wasn't for being approved to have food stamps, I wouldn't have been able to eat. Then I got the opportunity in my first month, $1,700. Because they tell you that you can earn your worth. They tell you can design your life. So for me, I had to eat. For that young lady, she had to pay rent. And Herbalife says, listen, you can have the ability to make income every single day to change your own life. Who can use an extra $500? Somebody on stage says, I make an extra $555 with Herbalife, every month. And that takes care of my car note. It's a stress off me. Herbalife can be that for you. It can take care of a light bill. It can take care of, let's just say, rent or gas or whatever it is. Something to take the pressure off of you. But all you have to do is show up. Show up, share your results with people, and you literally can change your entire life. I had one of my new members, Stephanie. She really is like, I don't want to do anything to do with the business, yada, 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 right? She posts one picture of her sister's fiance. He lost crazy amount of weight, but his stomach drastically reduced. She had five orders. And she don't even want to do the business. But then she told me, hey, listen, I made like $400. Like, okay, we might have to have a little conversation. She made $400 without even trying, just showing a progress picture. Showing her own progress, and she showed one other person that she helped. And she makes an extra $400. So my thing is here. Decide what you want from Herbalife, set a goal, and then get a plan on how you want to achieve it. Because let's be honest, nobody wants to work till they're 50 years old and then have no money when they retire. Have a bad back and bad knees and got to have surgery when you're 60 years old and your whole life is messed up. I'm telling you, I'm trying to be the swollest, fastest, most ripped up, healthy 60-year-old with a bank account that I ain't got to worry about nothing. And I can travel the world. But I couldn't get that with my regular job that I was doing regular stuff like regular people do. So if you have a desire and you have a wish, to change your life, trust me, I can tell you with 100% certainty that with Herbalife you can, because I did. And I still am. And there are people that are in this business on our team that have done the same thing. So that being said, that's 30 minutes. You know, I like to keep the carb, like to reduce as much as possible. So at this point in time, I will ask if anybody has somebody giving me the Drizzy hands over there at Casey House. I seen the Drizzy hands. What's up, buddy? He like he just had some tea. But if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, or any stories of success over the weekend, please feel free to share, or anything that you're excited about, whether it be any upcoming event or whether it be excited about a pin change you have coming up or whatever it is. Please share with us. And if nobody has anything, we'll get out of here and I'll go eat me some more pizza or something. I know Rachel ain't on here. She usually has something to say. Oh, Calando ain't on here neither. Leslie, you got something to say? Unmute yourself. This is free. You ain't been on here in a while, so I understand you ain't know.
Sorry. I'm just excited because one of my members is on the call tonight. So I'm excited. Hi, Kendra.
That is something to be excited about. And I'm going to tell you why. Because all you got to do is get them to the spot. And sometimes they might get to the spot and hear something that'll be like, oh, he said, okay, I'm going to turn up. You never know. You never
get to the spot.
Get to the spot and get your people to the spot. There we go. All right. Anybody else with anything?
I got a little success story, Steven. Be persistent.
Introduce. Who are you? Who are you?
Oh, I'm Jen. Hi. Be persistent. I do my posts on Facebook. I got, the pictures of your shakes and with the challenge going on. I actually have a distant family member that actually messaged me today. He had been Facebook stalking, apparently, always looking at my posts. Finally messaged me. He wants to lose 25 pounds, that last 20. Can't get rid of it. So I'm meeting up with him. I'm probably going to give him a 3-day trial pack. Maybe go over a plan. His wife is really into fitness, so I'm going to try and hit her up to do the 24 line. So.
We're not going to even say we're going to try. We're going to hit her up.
Heck yeah.
Because we have positive affirmations around here, and what we speak happens. So what you're going to do is you're going to get her on that 24 line, and you're going to change her life. And then the friend that want to look, or the other person who want to lose 20 pounds, you're going to get them hooked on Herbalife, and they're going to lose more than 20 pounds and get in the best shape of their life. And they're going to help somebody, and all of a sudden you have a big business booming, and all of a sudden you're going to change your life. See how things can happen?
Chain reaction, baby.
Exactly. Thank you for sharing.
Well, Adrian, it's nice to see you on the call.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say nothing.
Oh, yeah, you getting called out.
I wasn't going to say nothing.
Nice to see you.
Sanchez. Well, how you doing, Sanchez?
I'm doing good. I appreciate y'all calling me out. I'm peeping everybody, and I'm seeing how we doing as a family. That's all.
All right, Sanchez. Yeah, your family misses you. All right. Anybody else with anything? Anything before we get up off of here? I'm looking to see if somebody raised their hand. Okay, we still unmuted. I thought she had some more knowledge to drop on us. She over there turned up. All right, y'all. So if nobody has anything else, what I'll just talk about really quick is current events. Get to your local success training seminar. Most of you have one coming up somewhere. And if you don't, and if you can't get to a local success training seminar, just get on the calls. We have our call on Sunday. And sometimes I don't be knowing what I be talking about. So if you be like, I ain't getting nothing for that call, Garen has a call tomorrow. Garen just flew. Imagine this. Garen just flew to DC for 2 weeks because he wanted to. How many people are sitting down right now that wish that they can just up right now, buy a ticket right now, and go somewhere for 2 weeks and not have to tell your job and everything be okay? You can still work from wherever you're at. Yeah, I know some of y'all will want to do that. And Garen does it like all the time. Like, I can't imagine. I'm going to tell y'all one thing. I have the crazy vision. I can't imagine sitting back at home and the 14th to 15th of the month hits. Listen, Sean, you're going to have to wait till my story over with. And then you're going to have to, and then you're going to go ahead and unmute yourself. But I'm going to tell you this real quick. I can't imagine going to sleep and waking up on the 14th to 15th and $100,000 is deposited into my account. And then after I figure out maybe how to spend 5 of it, save a little bit of it, and the month has went by, the next month comes and another $100,000 goes in there. Then the next month, another $100,000. I don't even know what goes through Garen's mind when he has these I don't know. Sean, go ahead and say what you gotta say, because I just blew my own mind just thinking about it yet again.
Hey, no, when you said that, I was just, yeah, I would love that. You know, that's where I was with that, yes.
That's all that matters. I would love it too. But guess what? I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. For everybody who in the back of your mind who said, I would love to have that lifestyle, in the same token, who said, I'm willing to work for that? Who says I'm willing to actually just show up like they tell us, change my life like they tell us, and get everything that's available to me? It's so much out here for us. I think some of us are so conditioned to bad conditions. We're so conditioned to be in bad conditions that we don't even know how it would feel. It's not even normal. It's not even feasible for us to think about having a lifestyle like that. I fortunately enough live in Southern California to where I can actually see it. And I can't even tell you how it feels to see somebody who I know who was living out of their car, who had a busted out window, and it was like a Jeep. And now he's driving a Bentley, and Herbalife did it. That's all I need to know. Personally, that's all I need to know. Herbalife did that for you? Okay, well, let me figure this out. I'm going to work until I figure out how to get me. I don't want a Bentley because he already got one. I'm going to get something else. I'm going to inspire somebody else before I turn 30 years old, to create a lifestyle that people can only dream of. That is my mission. I got a year and a half, almost 2 years to do it. And I promise you, we're going to get it done. And the crazy thing about it is, if I do it, some of you all are going to have life-changing experiences of yourself. Because that's the only thing. I can't grow unless you grow. You can't grow unless I grow. So that's why we all need each other. So that's the last little bit. I don't know if anybody has anything to say. I know Adrian probably don't even know what's going on anymore. I know you just out here just, doing your little dance and stuff. Little Herbalife got talent, I know you out there doing that with light up shoes. Don't you make fun of me. I seen the video. I watched the video and I studied your dance moves. I know what I'm doing. And I also downloaded that song where they be like, cut it. And I seen y'all doing y'all little foot thing in the CP. I seen it. I be watching everything. Trust me, I watch everybody on this call right now, 99% of y'all, I watch everything that goes on. My phone is literally like this in my hand all day. I see Paris, I be watching too. I see everything that everybody do. Leslie, I watch your Snapchat. I know what you're doing all the time. So with that being said, I will stop the recording.